And now we're moving on to Bitfire Games.
Yeah.
And their game DarkSwarm.
Yeah, and I think Bitfire they started also really from scratch button, but maybe we should just see the. Are we ready with the trailer for DarkSwarm? All right,
Yes.
then get ready to see something completely new from not completely new, but a huge step in the development of DarkSwarm. Oh, that was the DarkSwarm trailer. Super cool. And now we have Hans and Jonas from Bitfire with us here on the stream. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome. How are you?
We're pretty good.
Pretty good. Yes.
Chilling at Hans's place, away from the office to not disturb our busy team.
Good choice. All right. So for all the viewers out there that haven't really seen anything about DarkSwarm yet, can you give a pitch? What's the game about?
Yes, what the game is about. DarkSwarm is a class-based, top-down co-op shooter with the horror elements for up to 4 players. Solo should be fun as well. You play a team of mercenaries in a galaxy infested with this parasitic alien life form called the DarkSwarm. Nobody knows where they came from, but it's infesting and corrupting everything it touches in the most horrible ways. In this world, that's run by the Giga corporations. Your team of mercenaries will be taking on contract jobs for the elite or anybody who is willing to pay for your security services and specialist skills. And sometimes sneaking in, hacking stuff in infested strongholds and taking out the hives. Sometimes going down to planets, build defenses around mining colonies and just mow down the waves of enemies. And at the end of the day, it's all about working together, surviving, and escaping with the fat loot. And so you can get your damn well-earned paycheck. And then it's going home and, upgrading your weapons and gear and enjoy some chill time with your friends and randos.
It sounds a bit familiar. No, so I think we met up also a year ago or something like that, right? And when we met up, Jonas, you came to us with a demo or a showcase of a prototype of DarkSwarm that you've been working on in your bedroom, and you partnered up with Hans. But you have been busy with your company, Bitfire.
Oh, sure.
How many are you now?
Yeah, right now we are actually 11 people, and it's just a few months ago it was only Jonas and me. So we had a actually we changed to a bigger office, and now we need to a bigger office again. So
that's how it goes.
Yes, sounds familiar as well.
But I think, we can also see it in the footage that we're seeing here in the background, right? You have made a lot of progress since the first material we showed from DarkSwarm.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we also been working hard on both the graphics and the code.
Especially, basically rebuilding throwing my prototype out, rebuilding in the process and getting all the new tech up and running so everything's performant. I'm not really a programmer, so it's been getting people up to speed, with actual programming skills and rebuilding all the systems to sort of to do the whole co-op online thing that we're working towards.
So what's been the most challenging parts?
It is very much, growing from just me in the bedroom, making all the decisions and just feeling my way forward. And then you suddenly have a pretty big team of very different people, and feeling like you're on this steam train going forward, laying all the tracks and steering away from potential minefields and all that stuff. And
And also we're going from a local co-op game, right, to an online co-op game. So it also there's a lot of things we have to change while we are building the game. So it also it's not a big challenge, but it has a lot of small issues, I would say.
Yeah. So you started out by building or testing local co-op first, right?
To feel the gameplay and
really feel the game.
Yeah.
It's been very helpful.
Yes.
And I think I remember when we were working on Deep Rock Galactic. I mean, obviously, getting all the network to work, it is just way more complicated than building a single player game, or you could say totally local game. So obviously, it's a huge challenge. I'm looking forward to. I mean, normally in Ghost Ship Publishing, right? Every week we have a check-in with you guys and with the other developers, and then we actually sit and talk and have to play the game in the background. You're not quite there yet, right? But I'm really looking forward to us starting to have weekly or bi-weekly sessions where we can play DarkSwarm together.
Yeah, sure. We will be there soon.
Very soon.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, that's super cool. So, what are your big next goals? What are your milestones looking like? What are you working towards?
It's the closed alpha, which will be sort of happening.
Yeah, sort of.
Kind of soon.
We're actually aiming for this online thing to work perfectly in December, and then we might have a closed alpha coming up. Who knows?
Then what should people who view the stream now, what should they do to get in on the closed alpha or have a chance to get in on the closed alpha?
I think we'll open up for invites in December on Steam.
And you can always sign up for the newsletter on the DarkSwarm.com or join the Discord.
Oh yeah, sure.
Follow the posts we do on Steam, all that stuff.
Yeah, and I think if people follow you, I mean, they should obviously wishlist DarkSwarm, but if they both wishlist and follow it, right, then whenever you're posting something, they will also be notified about what's going on. So,
sure.
So that's a way to stay in up to date on DarkSwarm.
Yeah, wishlist. Yes.
Now, before with Spellrogue, we were a little late on taking questions from the chat. So just if there are any questions out there, please post them, and Jacob can relay them. All right. The one thing I noted in the new footage is this: you have these colored, very different colors on the lasers. What's the purpose there? Is it just to distinguish the different player characters, or are there other things on it?
Oh, it's very much a design choice about having these player colors. So when we're doing the local co-op, it's much easier to sort of distinguish yourself from the other players.
I think it totally works. I mean, when we look at the game, right, it can be quite chaotic because you have a lot of things going on and so on. But I really think it helps. And then I think one of the other things that we maybe just saw a little bit of before is that you are also doing surface levels, right? So it's not all inside buildings and stuff like that. And I think that looks super cool.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a new thing for more the defense type missions where you go down to the planet surfaces. And I don't know, there's a lot of stuff I would like in the game, but like luring out the boss after clearing out the hives and all that stuff, it's something we're working towards eventually.
Yeah, you're still building on the foundation of the game, right?
Absolutely.
And then you will expand later.
Yeah.
So those surface level that we see from the desert biome type, it gives me a bit of a Starship Trooper kind of vibe. Is that a inspiration?
Absolutely, aliens.
And aliens as well, of course.
Yeah. Wayland Yutani. I also have.
Yes.
Wayland, yeah, cool. I actually think one of the things that is really cool about your character designs is that you're going more into like a, I don't know, body horror type of monsters. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, it's been like from the very beginning. It's the whole body horror. So we are not leaning towards so much the classical Ridley Scott, H.R. Giger kind of look and things, but more in the John Carpenter, The Thing, like body horror. And it's the DarkSwarm will sort of insert their little eggs into the victims, and then the creatures will evolve inside them, and so sort of burst through the poor souls, and then they give birth to new creatures. They can evolve and stuff like that. There's a lot of lore being written on right now around the whole biology of the DarkSwarm.
You don't want to get infected. Sounds like.
Okay, guys. I have a question. I have a question from the chat.
Oh yeah.
So, are you ready?
Yeah.
Will there be a salute feature like Rock and Stone or something similar?
It's not really in the plans right now, but sure.
Yeah, sure.
That would make sense to have, you know.
Yeah, we have talked about it, but yeah, sure, it will come.
I think that is almost like a question that we could ask for all the games, right?
Yeah.
But
Yes.
I think it really depends on what suits the games, right?
Yeah. Dark and Swarm.
Here's another comment from the chat. So this game reminds me of Helldivers. Is that a coincidence?
No, that is one of the among many, like Alien Swarm, Reactive Drop, Helldivers. It's one of these core foundational gameplay inspirations. We are also right now just doing very, very early building on the whole the support drops will function a little bit different from Helldivers, but it's I had so much fun playing Helldivers locally with my son on the couch for a long time. So there's a lot of inspiration and good times. I want to spread to the world.
It's funny because Helldivers was also a game we actually were looking at when we were designing Deep Rock Galactic. Obviously, it's a very different genre where your genre is more the same as Helldiver, but we had also a huge love for that game, and I think that was also part of what we fell in love with when we saw you presenting DarkSwarm to us.
For sure. Yeah. Maybe we're time for one last question from the chat, if there's any more.
Yeah, one last question. Is there going to be different classes that we can pick from?
Oh, yes. There'll be 4 starting base classes, the Assault, Engineer, Support, and Infiltrator. And we want them to be balanced, but also feel like very unique. And we also hope to add more classes in the future.
We said the same.
Yeah. And it doesn't happen. It's too much. And,
but we ended up, especially on the traversal part in Deep Rock, turned it very, very difficult to do that. I think it could be potentially easier in your game to actually add quite a few different classes. Yeah, I can see that.
Definitely. We decided too tight for Deep Rock.
Yeah.
All right, guys. But I think we are about to wrap this thing up. You don't have a demo out like the previous 2.
Maybe a closed alpha soon.
Yeah. Maybe closed alpha. So but DarkSwarm. How do you get your hands on a t-shirt?
Oh, you have to. Working for us is a good thing. I know.
It's a very limited audience you have there.
All right, guys. But thank you for joining the stream and telling us a little bit more about DarkSwarm. It was a pleasure having you here.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So that was DarkSwarm and Hans and Jonas from Bitfire.